Have I been wrong all my life? Does BMW actually make better performance cars than Porsche? Well, I'm going to find out by comparing the new M4 CS in a series of comparison tests against the new 911 GT3. I'm at Watson and you're watching CarWow. Is my whole world order about to be turned upside down? In this video, I'll compare these cars' designs. I'll test their performance claims, I'll see how practical or impractical they really are, and decide which one is best. And I might break the habit of a lifetime. Yes, wow. Let's start off by comparing how these cars look. So the 911 GT3, to most people it just looks like a normal 911, but those who know, because you've got these vents here, these little nostrils, and you've got the front splitter there with GT3 on it. There's some visual upgrades with this bit, and this one has carbon fibre. That's an optional extra, and more on that later. It's a good looking car. Now this looks mean though, doesn't it? Here, the BMW aggressive grille really works. You've got like red accents on it, and importantly for this CS, you get carbon fibre here. It's just much more aggressive than the standard M4. These winglets here and this front splitter. Be careful going over speed humps because that could be very costly. Big thing for me though is the bonnet. Look at it. I love it with this exposed carbon fibre. This car is so aggressive. And another thing I like about it, for this CS, you get yellow daytime running lights. Now, if you don't like those, you can deselect them. From the front then, this looks like the more powerful and aggressive car. Things are different at the back though. You see, while the BMW does have some sporty add-ons like this carbon fibre boot lip spoiler and quite a nice carbon fibre rear diffuser, plus quad exhaust, just can't compete with this proper wing. This provides meaningful downforce. Also, while the diffuser on this Porsche isn't carbon fibre, there's just something more real about it. You know that's doing more diffusing than that one. I also really like the rear end of this. It just works with the central exhaust. Yes, there's only two, and you know that this has got a naturally aspirated engine, so it's going to sound amazing. They've also redesigned this part compared to the 992.1. Really like it, and this little vent here. This one makes more of a statement from the rear, and that's probably what you're going to see of these cars when you're driving on the road, the rear of them as they go past you. The M4 CS has some upgraded alloy wheels, so they're forged aluminium and they're 20s at the back and 19s at the front. As with the standard car, you have a carbon fibre roof, but unlike the standard car, you have carbon fibre mirror caps. Still fistable though, in true M tradition. Don't like this tacky little badge there. It's supposed to be an air vent. It's not an air vent, it's fake. It looks like an M4 with some extra bits added on. You could probably do this yourself, you know, with some aftermarket parts. And that brings me on to the Porsche, you see, because you can't make this shape yourself, can you? It has to be done from factory. This looks like a racing car. It really does. Alloy wheels, so these are 20s at the front and 21s at the rear. This has the upgraded magnesium alloy wheels. They're rather expensive. We'll come to that as well later on. And it's got some other bits like the carbon fibre mirror caps. They're not standard on this car, obviously. Porsche will take you for every penny you have. I like the look of these door handles, but they're just not so nice to use as the ones on the BMW. From the side, it's a non-contest. This just looks beautiful. The CS version of the M4 has the same 3-litre twin-turbo straight six as the normal M4, but it's got 20 more horsepower. So 515 total. It has the same 650 Newton meters of torque. It drives all four wheels via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. And this big bonnet, which is made out of carbon fibre, is really handy at blocking the wind from me, and I'm keeping myself warm on the engine. Can't do any of that with a Porsche because you can't really get to the engine unless you get it on a lift. That has a 4-litre naturally aspirated flat six with 510 horsepower and 450 Newton meters of torque. Has a 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox which drives the rear wheels only. That weighs 1480 kilograms. This weighs 1760 kilograms. So 280 kilograms heavier. So what's that going to do to the performance? 0 to 60 is supposed to take 3.4 seconds. Left foot brake, floor the throttle. Noise control is ready. That just hooked up. That feels good. 3.1 seconds. What's the quarter mile? What's it going to be? Blimey. 11.1 quarter mile. That is... Wow, that is so fast. So fast. The Porsche could be at a disadvantage here because it's only 2-wheel drive, but remember, the entire weight of its 4-litre flat six is pushing down directly on the back wheels, so it should still have excellent traction off the line. Especially 0 to 60, 3.4 seconds, same as the BMW, but what's the reality? That was a good one. Yes! Yes, come on, can you beat the BMW? Ah! You beat it to 60, that's for sure. But quarter mile, beat by 1/100th of a second by the BMW. I mean, how close is that? But it's insane that this is rear wheel drive, right? And it manages to do that. So the BMW is the quickest by the narrowest of margins, but does it sound the best? Go on then. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. Cut it, cut it. Let's have a listen to a naturally aspirated flat 6. Oh, oh yeah. Okay, we've got a soft limiter, but it sounds good. Do this special. Stop, 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 stop. Right, right. Stationary revving, no question, that sounds the best. Now let's hear them when they're driving. You really feel like you're sitting in a sports car with the GT3 because it is a sports car. You sit dead low, especially in these upgraded carbon fibre bucket seats, which now fold as well. Oh, they've also got this feature. Look, oh, you can remove the headrest. Oh, can I do it? How do you do it? There we go. See, remove it. So if you're wearing a helmet, you're not having your head pushed forward. You can tell that this car's designed for, can't you? Can I put this back on? There we go. Yeah, it's a really nice interior, feels solid, well built, and the infotainment system, it's very easy to use, and you've got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. Digital dials, they cause a bit of controversy, but I actually really like them, and I like the way you can change from a normal rev counter to this more sporty one with the red line at the top. I quite like that. I like the fact that they've kept the little paddle switch to like start the car rather than on the standard 911s where it's like a push button, but there are some buttons that had to fit because of the new safety rules, which means that you have to have ADAS systems on, so lane keeping assist and speed limit warning, but you can press that button then quickly toggle them off. I also like the fact that Porsche's kept the physical buttons for the climate control, so you can set your temperature really nice and easily. And this car is lovely inside, but it's got so many options fitted to it. I'm going to come through the spec list in a bit and it will blow your mind and your wallet. As with the exterior, the interior of the M4 just feels a little bit more like a normal car than the Porsche. You still sit very low in these standard fit, you don't have to pay extra for them, carbon fibre buckets. I think for a long journey these are more comfortable than the buckets in the Porsche, and they still hold you very well. It's just that this kind of like hard bit in the middle, for some people with chunky thighs, it can be a bit uncomfortable. I find them absolutely fine though. Other upgrades which help lift it over the standard M4 include, look, we've got CS logo there, you've got carbon fibre little oddments tray, carbon fibre all the way around here. That's really nice. Carbon fibre on here, carbon fibre gear shift paddles and on the steering wheel. You've got Alcantara on the steering wheel as well. It's really nice, and I like all the tricolor stitching as well that you get on this car. And oh yeah, the Porsche has red seat belts, which are an optional extra, but this has tricolor on the seat belt as standard. It's really nice. Infotainment system isn't as good though. It's a bit confusing, this BMW one, and you have to operate, as with the standard car, the climate control through it. And the digital dials, while they're pretty clear and give you all the information you need, they just don't look as in the Porsche. Now, it's all well and good talking about the upgrades over the normal M4 and even the normal 4 Series, but you've got to put how much that costs into perspective. So this is the starting price for a normal BMW 4 Series. And this is how much you can save on one through CarWow. And this is the starting price for a normal BMW M4, just the normal M4 competition. And this is how much you can save on average on one through CarWow. So if you're thinking about buying a car, you need to head to CarWow. You can do that by following the link in the description or clicking on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen to see the latest deals. There's also a QR code you can scan on screen now. However, this M4 CS costs this much. Yeah. Actually, the car we've got here is actually this much, because it's got some options fitted to it, but there's only two. The first is this lovely Riviera blue paint job. Can you guess how much that is? It's this much. And they didn't even finish the bonnet. Then there's the carbon ceramic brake upgrade, which costs this much. Think that's a lot? Wait till we get onto the Porsche. An entry-level Porsche 911 Carrera starts from this much. The GT3 starts from this much. So the price walk is actually less than going from a base 4 Series all the way up to the CS. However, Porsche won't let you stop walking, you see, because you're going to have to fit some options to your GT3. No one just buys a base spec GT3. And I'm going to take you through the options on this car and we'll see where we end up, because it's quite frightening. The optional Visac pack includes carbon wing end plates, mirror caps, bumper trims and a painted carbon roof with carbon anti-roll bars, a carbon roll cage and carbon interior trim, alongside interior Racetex trim and various Visac badges. The extended leather and Racetex trim with red stitching is also optional, along with folding carbon sport seats, red seat belts, red trim on the stopwatch and rev counter and Bose stereo. Exterior options include front PPF, tinted matrix LED headlights, Visac courtesy lights and the all-important front axle lift. But the most expensive individual options are these carbon ceramic brakes and gorgeous magnesium wheels. In total, the options on this car come to £60,450. Do you know what really blows my mind is that you can spend over 60 grand on options and you still have plasticky sun visors. I think the person who actually optioned this car forgot to select the Racetex for those. It's only 355 quid, so if you're spending all that money, you may as well do that as well. But overall, that amount of cash on options is insane. You could have a whole M4 for a lot less than that. I found this used BMW M4 on carwow. So it's 3 years old, it's done just over 30,000 miles and it's available for under £50,000. That's a bargain. Thing is though, when you're buying a used car, you do have to be careful. You need to do a history check to make sure it hasn't got a hidden pass. I've run one on that particular BMW using Car Vertical and it's come back completely clean. No issues for mileage, theft, outstanding finance or damage. So I'm happy. I'll tell you what I'm also happy about. These new carbon fibre buckets fold forward. Now there's no rear seats in this, but you can get rear seats in the touring version. It does make it easier to load though, because this cage does cause a problem. But if these seats didn't move, look, you could only squeeze stuff through there. With this one, you can squeeze stuff through this larger gap. That is handy. I also like the fact that you can get them with Isofix anchor points, so you can put a child seat here in the front. Can't do that in the bucket seats in the previous generation GT3, and these side bolsters just seem a little bit easier to climb over to get in. So that's good. I actually find the side bolsters in the BMW a little bit harder to get over than in the Porsche. Not much in it though. I tell you what is handy about the BMW. Tis this, having some rear seats. Yeah. And even if you have the touring with the Porsche, the back seats are nowhere near as good as this, so I've got a decent amount of knee room. Headroom's okay for me, but let's try someone taller. Nicholas? No, that seat's probably going to go a bit too far back. It's all right, isn't it?
Headroom's tight.
Headroom's tight.
Headroom's very tight, but legroom's good, okay?
That's way better than in a 911 though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So happy about that. We're going to do something else you're not going to like in a minute. Right, Nicholas, you know what to do. I'm going to show you how big and practical this boot is. It is quite large for a sporty coupe. This is not going to be pretty. I'll tell you what's also not pretty. You see, I found a used BMW M4, which when I ran a Car Vertical history check on it, it came back with this: dodgy mileage and crash damage. So make sure you do a Car Vertical history check on a car, because then you can use that information to decide what to do next. Should you walk away from a car like that? Or maybe just use it as a negotiating tool to get the price down. Anyway, if you're gonna get a used car, do a Car Vertical check. There's a link in the description of this video and the pinned comment, and use the code CARWOW for 20% off. Anyway, Nick, so this is the bit you're gonna enjoy the most. We're gonna top to tail, see if we can fit 2 grown men in the back of this. I told you we're gonna enjoy this.
Goodness.
This is gonna be worse than that Car Vertical history check. Oh look, there's a recess for my feet. Oh. Now Miguel, you're gonna have to shut the boot. Oh. But look at this though, this is gonna happen. Come on, don't fart, Nick. Go.
I think I've got some front end damage now.
Ah! How do we get out? Actually, do you know what? This is roomier than I thought. Oh, we can release the seats as well. Look. There you go, that way. Don't kick me in the face, I know you want to. Oh, I've got a 12-volt socket here as well, look. It's a 12-volt socket, there we go. My problem is getting my legs out. Can you get out? If I don't do my neck in. I did my neck in last week doing this kind of thing. Anyway. No, we're not going to contort ourselves into the very back part of the 911 to show that you can use that space, because we'll probably get stuck behind that roll cage. But here in the front you have 135 litres of stowed space, and it is quite useful. Not as useful as the 440 litres of boot space in that BMW, but yeah, I can sit in this quite comfortably. Nick, can you actually sit in there as well? You're longer of leg. If you can, that's pretty impressive. Do you know what? We should get some suitcases to demonstrate things with rather than people. Yeah, he's happy, I'm happy. Nonsense. Let's take a break from the nonsense to talk about these cars' brakes, the optional carbon ceramics. So on the BMW, we've got 400mm discs up front, gripped by 6 piston calipers, and 380mm at the back, gripped by a single piston caliper. Here on the Porsche, we have 410mm at the front, gripped by 6 piston calipers, and 390 at the back, gripped by 4 piston calipers. Ooh, so Porsche's a little bit better. We've also got different tyres on the cars: Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, better when hot, better when cold. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a cold brake test, and then we're going to do a hot brake test and see how the cars perform in those two different scenarios. Will there be any difference? Let's find out. Cold tyres, cold brakes, what we're going to do, 100 mile an hour. Cold tyres and brakes. That seemed to take quite a distance. Let's have a look. 88 metres to stop from 100 miles an hour. We're going to see what the Porsche does. It did better than the BMW. 87 metres, 1 metre better. Is he going to do better once I've warmed it all up? We're going to find out. But first, I need to get some serious heat into the BMW's tyres. There we go, 88 metres to beat. Is that any better? Bang on the same, 88 metres. I warmed the heck out the tyres, I warmed the heck out the brakes, and it's exactly the same. Now let's warm up the tyres on the 911. So it's got this feature where you can clutch kick it, so you pull in both pedals, floor it. There we go. Should be ready to razz it. It's definitely a little bit more edgy than the BMW. Is that better? I don't know if it is. Yes! Wow! Wow! Hot brakes, hot tyres, 80 metres. I've taken 7 metres out of it by having everything warmed up. It's mad how it didn't affect the BMW, but it affected this. Maybe that's just the nature of the brakes, and in particular the tyres in the BMW. These Cup 2s on this, you've got to get them warm for them to do their job, and then they definitely do their job. It's easy to get your tyres into their ideal temperature range on a track, but it's much harder to do on the road. And this could be one reason why the BMW with its Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's might actually be a better all-rounder. But let's find out. When you're on it, oh, this thing feels properly fast. The engine likes to rev for a turbo, and it sounds good, though I know a lot of the sound that I'm hearing on the inside, it's kind of pumped through the speakers. The car will rotate on you a bit, so it's quite mobile and it's fun and engaging, and it's nothing but predictable and smooth, like you know what it's going to do. And then you can apply the throttle to sit the back down and stop it rotating, and just control it or make it rotate even more. The halfway house for the traction, the MDM mode, is really well balanced, so it gives you some fun and some slip without hanging you out to dry. It is fun. And it's great, you know, you've got a car that you can use with your family. I know it's a coupe, so it's not the most practical, but still, back seats and boot does the job. And then it's a proper, like, nutty sports coupe when you want it to be. It does feel like a bit of a big bruiser though, this thing. It's not like a scalpel, but it's certainly a lot of fun, and you can cover ground extremely quickly. And with the four-wheel drive, you can enjoy the performance all year. The brakes feel good, gear shifts. Yeah, I know it's not a dual clutcher, but they're fast. And if you get a bit carried away in a corner, you'll either just push on a bit, or if you rotate too quick, it'll just start to come round on you. It's all very smooth and predictable. Whee! Oh, it's so nice. Do you know what? Drive this in isolation. You're like, yeah, what a car! What an absolute legend of a car! And just that step up over the standard M4 without any compromise in terms of like the comfort levels and just everyday usability. BMW's M division do this when they release the special editions like the CS. They're always they have that special sauce that seems to be more than the sum of their parts. I mean, I love it, I do. But even though you could actually use this car every day, the M4 CS hasn't forgotten how to be a total hooligan. The two-wheel drive mode is pretty cool as well because you can just give it a lot of slidey slide. Hello, so easy this guy. But how will the Porsche compare with its hardcore motorsport derived chassis setup? In some ways it's wrong to compare the GT3 to the BMW. We should just have like a normal Porsche like the GTS. While the BMW is perfectly livable every day and throughout the winter, you wouldn't want to with this. It's a little bit noisy, it's uncompromised, the tyres are no good when it's wet and cold. When the conditions are right, oh my goodness, it's like driving a racing car, it really is. The steering is so sharp, the chassis so stiff, the engine manic. I mean, in terms of speed, outright performance, they're just bang on each other really, but this, the way it's just so flat around the bends and just digs in, it's less likely to let go as well than the BMW, which kind of moves around a bit more. This, it's just so planted. And the drive that you get from that rear axle with the weight over the back wheels, it's just insane. Gear shift as well. You can tell this is a dual clutcher. It's just like bang, bang, bang. So fast on the gear shifts. It's an absolute weapon. The seats are fantastic as well. Just hold you firmly in place. I mean, when the weather's good and the roads are good, this is the car you're going to choose all day long. You do have to watch which gear you're in because you haven't got the torque to pull you out if you're in the wrong gear like you can the BMW, but get it right. This engine is an absolute peach. And the noise, I mean, the BMW just can't come close. This is pure motorsport, this sound. And you can really feel it dancing underneath you when you do chuck it about. Oh, what an absolute weapon this is. All the way to 9, yes please. And then you have to relax and just chill for a bit and go, oh, do you know what an amazing, amazing car. But it's only amazing on the right kind of journeys. Other times it's going to be a bit of a pain. This is the car I want, but it's not necessarily the car I or you should have. So then, which car is best? Well, technically it's the Porsche GT3. However, you can only really enjoy it if the conditions and the situation is right, whereas the BMW you can enjoy more of the time and all year round. So my final verdict is this: if you're having it as a second car, choose the Porsche. If you're having it as your only car, choose the BMW. I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to watch some other videos, click on the video windows, and if you haven't done so already, click on the Carwow logo to buy some of our new Carwow merch.